Hello, Culture Matters podcast. It's New Year's Eve 2025, Lollapalooza, the best day of the year. And here I am with people that matter. Demetri just joined. I'm here with my co-host of the day, Michael Dean Calhoun, founder of Board of Advisors, the man, the myth, the healer, the helper, and amazing friends. People I don't even know how to describe, but I'll do it brief. Apparently, Alex has known my wife since she was 3 months old. He's an amazing guy that recently had a child, so congratulations. He asks great questions. He's a healer by nature, creative despite his position and stature. He's a very humble, amazing man. Demetri Stakias can't help himself but solve every problem possible, and that's why I consider him more than just IQ, EQ. Jeff Silva's been working on EQ since the first time I met him, and he had enough EQ to give me a chance to do whatever I was doing at the time. And Ken Jordan,
Don't forget at the gong, Jay.
I'll let Mike talk about that. Ken Jordan is not just the third day with Jay, which is the most thing I'm proud of in 2025 from my own growth doing this last year with Michael and the year before. Ken Jordan is someone that you want to follow if his people want to follow him. And I love listening to his podcast. I keep sending people all day long selling the dream. It's a great podcast. All of you should be on it. Him and his partner on that show, Iredell, I look up to them a lot. So I learn from their podcasting. Anyway, Mike, please. These are my friends, Jeff, Ken, Demetri, Alex.
Gentlemen, I would say ladies and gentlemen, but this one is all gentlemen, if you haven't already noticed. We have been going since 5 a.m. this morning, and we've probably interviewed, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've probably interviewed, 20 people-ish so far. The conversation, matter of fact, no offense to anyone on this call, but I didn't want the last one to end so that this one could start. But obviously, Jay is controlling the button on his side of the fence there. It was that good. Now, we're running a little bit of a similar format. I want to try something new here because I don't want Jay getting comfortable in his chair. I got to keep Jay on his toes. I haven't sat down the whole time. Jay has obviously been sitting and watching and enjoying the show, but let's do this, guys. It looks like we've got so Ken, you were on last year, right?
I sure was.
Demetri was on last year. I think Alex, did we meet last year?
Sure
we did, right? Yeah. But Jeff,
oh, you and I have not met.
Okay, you didn't come on just for a brief. Now, Jeff, have we met yet?
We have not, Mike.
I was going to say, because again, if I'd known you were coming, Jeff, I would have probably buttoned the top button, maybe worn a tie, at least a vest. But
there you go. I can see Jay's got his vest on, that's for sure.
I know. I noticed that he did the switcheroo. He said he was going to the bathroom. What he did is he went and he got dressed properly for this one. And then why don't we do this just real quick?
Did you guys know Jay when he used to wear a velvet blazer to work? I mean, come on.
I used to know Jay when he used to wear.
That's true.
I used to know Jay when he used to wear breakdance pants, like the parachute pants, right? And then he thought he could act just because he wore the breakdance pants. He thought he could breakdance. I told him those two, just because you put them on, doesn't mean it transfers the capability. Anyway, so let's do this real quick, guys. Let's just take 30 seconds apiece. What's the brand or the company, the product, platform, or service, and what is maybe if from a family aspect. Here he goes. Now he's got the jacket.
It still fits. I'm just older and fatter.
Jay, if you go put on a tie, I'm going to take my shirt off.
What's that Saturday? Is it a skit man in a tiny jacket? Who is that? Matt, like man in a little
Chris
suit or something like that?
Batman in a little coat.
Batman, a
I
Hey
little
Jay, you
coat.
hold on. You want to hold on, Jay? 1 sec.
can't, I can't fit it. I haven't worn this, Jeff. This is so. I went up to the closet. It's in there.
Nice.
Look at
I
you!
had mine on the other
Wow.
day, but I went out to dinner and it was Christmas. I didn't come to the office wearing it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. It doesn't close anymore. Man, what a gift.
All right, I've got my
Sorry to
Hugh
pattern
Hefner
interrupt. You
robe
look
now.
great.
There we go. There we go. Now we're rocking.
Okay, so just 30 seconds. The brand, maybe if you, the family, kids, and then if you have concentrated 2026 down into one word, because Jay likes this one word thing. I think we deserve 2 words, but one word. Let us know what that is as well. Jeff, we're going to let you go first, sir. In the
That's
game, Silva.
it, man. Apparently I got to come up with a new name for next year. That was my name this year. So Jeff Silva. I'm in South Jersey, also like Philadelphia, kind of mixed between 2 states here. Married for 25 years, 2 children, 19 and almost 17, going on 15 and 13. So I'm still even though they're older, I'm still in the trenches, and some days are better than others. Let's put it that way. My company is the Silva Group. I am in real estate and have been for going on 24 years in 2026. Shifted my business about 2 years ago, so I've been in the rebuilding stages in pretty much another state with an entire new operation. And I would say my word, and it's a word that gets thrown around all the time, but it's really something that I truly need to live by in 2026, and that would just be consistency.
Consistency. You know, that's a very popular, that and alignment
It's
seems to
so
be
popular,
very,
or yeah.
yeah, everybody's
Well,
either
you
using
can't
the same.
lose. You just can't lose. You'll never lose the game if you're consistent, and it's the hardest thing in life to do, because we
It's
get
true.
distracted.
It's true. It beats skill. Yeah, I mean, it beats everything. Consistency kills the cat, right?
Yeah.
Now, Alex, he did a great job. I didn't want to put you after him, but I can't do it to the other guys, so I'm gonna have to do it to you.
Oh
Alex,
yeah, get the new guy.
go
Um,
ahead, sir.
so just 2026, can we bring back those parachute pants? That'll be my word. Alex Rawdin, I work at Westcott Financial Advisory Group. We're a group of um, uh, full service, comprehensive financial advisors. There's 50 of us. We've been around 40 years. My father founded the company. I'm one of the newer employees, being there 9 years. So this is a bit of a career change. I was in the creative space before. Married for 10 years this summer. We just had our third kid. We got 2 girls and a boy. We are done. Uh, 7, 4.5, and 2 months.
Wow.
Um, so we're busy. We're busy on all fronts. Um, for the year, for 2026 anyhow, I was thinking action, and then I saw behind Jeff's head right there. I wanted to dial that in a little bit because it's a little less about action and it's a little bit more about execution. That's what 2026 for me is really going to be concentrated on.
Execution. My good friend from Australia, he's a partner in one of my prior businesses. It's John, and he says uh, being busy or being effective is more important than being busy.
Amen. Amen.
Um, yeah, damn. Now every time I say I'm counting them based on the last call. The last call was hard, guys. It was brutal. They beat us up a little bit. Let's see here. Demetri,
Yes.
your turn, sir.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Demetri Stakias. I'm here out of Philadelphia, but I also work in the Florida market. My company is a real estate relief. We are distressed asset buyers in the time of distress, and family divorce, but aspirational that one day, I'll also be living the dream. So right now, I'm just single focused on relief, whether it be in my podcast or the relief I bring to people, or just the friendship I offer every day. So I'm very grateful to be here among a great panel of wonderful people as we close out the year. And my word,
Good.
for next year
Yes.
is very strong. And it's very vulnerable too. Love.
Ooh, that is Jay's word as well.
It is. Bring it in.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know, he asked me if I liked it. He goes, do you like my word? And I said, no, Jay, I love it. I know they're not that great. They're dad jokes, but that's all I got. And
Good.
so, Demetri, let's see here. You were on the last. So, what was the word last year?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Unstoppable. What? Now, that's a pretty big contrast. You went from unstoppable to love. Well, how did that happen?
It had to be forged and purified, right? I think I've dealt with things that people only talk about in stories and news headlines. Like, when you're beaten up literally by your tenants, and then you're beaten up again in court, like you can choose to be a victim or a victor, right? Very
Hmm.
easily, like when we take hits in life, whether it's setbacks, divorces, etc. Like we're like, well, there's a reason why this happened, right? And it's so that you can be more relatable, right? Like, I mean, Mike Tyson literally said it, like life goes according to plan until you get punched in the face. Right. And so you can be bitter and you can be hateful, or you can remember that we're from the city of brotherly love. It might be a little crabby, it might be a little salty, but we know we care about you. And when somebody like even talks to us from another town, you see the Eagles jersey, like you're like, hey, it's one of our people, right? Even when Jay's left Philly for Florida, he's still got that Philly fighting spirit, right? I mean, look how many rounds are we? Would you call this 12 rounds, 15 rounds? What kind of pugilist would you be today?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's good perspective, brother. Good perspective. And then Mr. Ken Jordan, I didn't want to tell them this, but we did save the best for last, Ken. So, Ken, give us give us your word first. Let's take you through that in the opposite direction. The word, the family, and then what's the business, maybe a URL, light it up for us.
First of all, thank you. Jay, love you. Mike, I'm so jealous of your voice. I can't begin to tell you. Raw Dog, it's good to see you again. Alex, I know we spoke on the phone. It's great to see you. Jeff, we haven't met. Nice to meet you. My word is transformation. Um, my family situation, I'm married, 22 years. I have a 24-year-old, a 20, almost 21-year-old, and a daughter who just turned 17. So Jeff, I know the pain. I know what it's like. They first they were growing up too fast, and now it's like they can't do anything without asking me first. But super excited. My oldest is engaged to be married in January 2027, so a big wedding on the way. So excited
Wow.
about that. And I'm a branch manager at Princeton Mortgage. Been in the business 22 years. Been at Princeton here for about 3.5 years. Home of the effortless mortgage. And yeah, the transformation this year in my business and how I operate in the lives of the people that I serve, and my health and fitness are on the forefront of everything I do this year.
Love that. Love that. And I can tell you got the office dialed in. Last year I think it was white walls, it was a newer office or something, and now you got it all dialed in, the lighting's right. It looks good there,
I'll tell
brother.
you a funny story. I moved in May. I had just finished my office shortly after last year. Hadn't even painted the walls yet, but I did end up painting them. And then we moved. And I said to my wife, I really like that color of paint. I wish I could paint my new office that color. She went back into her emails, and that's how beautiful this woman is. She went back into her emails. She found the receipt from Home Depot, the paint color that we bought. I went out and bought the exact same color, painted the wall the exact same color. So if you didn't know any better, you'd think I was in my old office.
Wow.
That's awesome. What a great woman. They do make us
Absolutely.
better. Now, we're going to switch it up a little bit, Jay. What I find, and especially in my years of running and leading the board of advisors every quarter for 40 quarters in a row. These are 5-day rounds of meetings every single quarter for the last 10 years. The fastest way to create affinity and interest in each other is to understand each other's challenges, because it starts to conjure contribution. So, Jeff, even though we saved the best Ken for last, I'm going to let you go first, sir, because I know you can handle the pressure. You actually thrive being put in the game and under pressure. So what I'd like to do here is, from your perspective, what is the thing going into 2026 that you feel like would be the biggest resource or relationship that any of us could potentially provide you on the call? Or if we got off the call and we just wanted to, maybe add that to your life later, we could do that as well. But help us see a little bit of the Achilles heel or the weak spot so we can be valuable to you.
So again, been rebuilding for the last 2 years. And the beautiful thing is, 2 years ago when everything just fell apart, I took complete ownership of it, which was pretty amazing. I literally broke down, came to tears in my hot tub one morning, the day before Christmas.
We felt bad for you until you said hot tub, and then we were.
I know, right? Where I meditate, this is where I get clear. It was really cold that day. I think it was 13 degrees.
Choking on the caviar, fighting back the tears.
So I just remember taking that complete ownership and, charging into 2024. I was juiced up, man. I was ready to tackle the world. And then, the punches in the face started coming in the spring of that year, and they just didn't stop. And they ran into 25, and I felt it probably up until about June of this year, maybe even a little past that. Business-wise, June. Personally, was even until just a couple months ago. And like what Demetri said, either the victim or the victor, and it's we're either the victim of our circumstances or the creator of our experiences. But I can genuinely look back right now and say, everything happens for a reason. We say that, right? I believe that. It's not always easy to live it than when it is when you're experiencing it. But I'm blessed that I truly have, right now, I have the best group of people I've ever worked with in my entire career. And it's how the hell did I get here? Considering 6 months ago, I didn't know what it was going to look like. And I didn't know, it was I'm going to do this or I'm not, and it worked. And so going into 2026, I believe that it's going to be an amazing year. I see the writing on the wall, but that self-doubt will still creep in at times, especially those who are in the real estate mortgage world where, or anyone that's really self-employed. It's God, it's a new year. I got to go do this all over again. Can I do it? Is it going to work? Start the year off not being the way you want. So for me, it's having that faith and keeping that faith. And I've turned my head back in that direction and gotten a little bit more spiritually connected. And I do that. I start my morning that way, to have that faith and belief. But it's just continuing to surround myself with the right people and to have conversations like this, because when you're in these conversations and the brain just goes, we're all here. We know it. You feel it. You get inspired, and it's proximity, right? And that's powerful, as Tony Robbins would say. So it's just constantly putting myself in front of more people, not having that fear. I laughed. I think to myself recently, I'm 51 years old, right?
No.
Why am I still, right? Why am I still letting shit get to me that got to me when I was 30, in business even? Why do I still allow self-doubt, rejection, what other people think, get in my head? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's you laugh because we all meet old. The older we get, we meet older people, and you meet those people in their 70s, or really the people in their 80s. They don't give a crap about anything. They got no filter. They just say it and they don't give a crap. And I feel like, God, I've been doing this game for so long. Why am I still letting that stuff get in the way? Why am I letting it affect my mindset? And so for me, it's like going into next year, try to continue to crush those limiting beliefs. I mean, look, it's mindset's it's a constant thing for all of us, I believe. Got to work on it every day. And how do I put myself in more situations just to force me to grow at a higher level, right? I've had to have in the last 2 days, I've had to have uncomfortable conversations with people in my organization, and I don't really like having uncomfortable conversations. It's not something I've ever been really good at. I just kind of push through. But I also see by not having those uncomfortable conversations, it affects communication, it affects culture, right, Jay? And those things have to stop, right? And I have to give myself some grace that I'm not perfect, but I can't let that be a crutch anymore, right? You got to just continue to move forward, continue to push through, continue to believe in my purpose and what I'm doing, right? And then being around people that are just like, hey, I'm doing the same thing. Like we're all going to get there, And the last couple of years in the Ken, your mortgage, you said, right? I mean, the last couple of years in our industry have been brutal, it's been tough, but here it is, the end of 2025, and I never thought I'd be in this position. We're going to finish the year at like 91 million, and I've got half the amount of people I used to have. And, is it where I want to be? No, but am I on my way to get there? Yeah. And then the one thing that was, was just really getting to me this morning is, there's as you grow, there's a cost to do business, right? And it's like people always want more from me, but then when you ask other people to like help you to contribute to that, they're like, what do you mean? Like you're the lead. You're supposed to take everything on the chin. We're not supposed to be, we're supposed to be partners. We're supposed to, like, if things are changing in the industry and in business, we have to work on that together. It's not just, the leader of the company that feels all that pain. Like we got to grow, we got to adapt. We all have to adjust because things change. So how do I continue to work through that? And I do think just showing up every day. That's why my word's consistency, because it's like every day, and look, it's hard work, right? Like every day you got to show up for yourself. You got to show up for your family. You got to show up for your kids. You got to show up for your business. You got to show up for your clients. You got to show up for your people. Like this is why Jay started at what time this morning, Jay?
We started at 5. Yeah.
And what time are you going until tonight?
12.
Yeah, so you're showing up all day today. That's a lot of work, man. And I know it's like fun and you're enjoying it and so
I didn't
forth, but
sleep
it's
a
still
wink because
time.
Jenna called me from Vegas. Jenna's in Vegas right now, and the Lees were having dinner. I get a call at like close to 12 in the morning, so I slept 3. We were supposed to start earlier. Anyway, I'm projecting. I'm sorry to interrupt.
All good.
Yeah, I'm definitely tired, but I'm the Holy Spirit, you guys, your love, my word's love, right? The energy, it's keeping me going. Like this is so important to me. I look forward to this every year that I say, you know what? I was texting Jenna last night, like this conversation is really important. I'll stay up a bit later. It's very important, and I'll get less sleep. And I was like, oh, I'll just sleep all day on the first day of the year.
Yeah, right.
Like I'll just sleep all, but I gotta get so sorry, but I don't need to apologize, but
No.
gotta stop apologizing. That's one of my things. I
just wish he would have let me know, because when he called me at 4:45 this morning and he says, hey, do you know what day it is? And I said, Wednesday. He said, no, it's New Year's Eve. You know what happens on New Year's Eve? And I said, I do. He says, yeah, remember last year we had 14 podcasts? And he goes, we start in 15 minutes. Let's go. And I'm like, okay. And then I was a little late. I got here at like 5:03 or some shit, but
it's a lot, man.
This is what having friends like Jay is like. You're all in, and you better just be careful what day it is.
I was just saying, friends like Jeff, because first of all, I walk into his office 10 years ago with colors that didn't match, golden truck nuts that are stringed together.
True story. I forgot
around
about
my
them.
waist and a gong. And you met one of his team members like 2 hours ago, Stephen Ronald, and I'll let him tell the story better than me. But I just want to say, like, his level of compassion
What is
of
a truck nut?
empathy, of
Google it.
yeah. So I'm saying Fred's like Jeff because yeah.
Wait, no. I think you walked in. Hold on. Actually, you're gonna laugh, but I think you walked in with these.
Oh, it's a truck nut
Oh, dude,
from the
that's
truck tree.
great.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Right,
The things that
right,
go
Gary Glenn
on the
Ross.
trailer hitch.
And I
Brass balls, baby.
well, I put them around the
Oh.
waist because you got to have it to make appointments. You got to
Yeah.
have yeah.
The
Anatomical.
only
That's what they said.
difference now is they're on the back of his 911
There
versus
you go.
pickup truck.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, guys, I'm in complete gratitude because it's amazing. The moment I got on this call, just the energy just within me just totally shifted, and it's awesome. So thank you.
Jay, it's the jacket, buddy.
It is. It's totally the jacket.
No, thank you because you mentioned that, right? It's funny how we have to go back to move forward sometimes. This has been in my closet for years, even through the moves. I haven't been ready to put it back on. Now, of course, I was much heavier like 90 days ago. By the way, eating steak works, rice. So it really did not fit, but just psychologically to put this back on.
Is that velvet?
You talked about consistency. How about this? I got away from what brought me. Most of you I met many years ago. I got away from many of the rituals, many of the habits, many of the parts of who I am, actually because of not being strong enough to withstand the pain and suffering from starting something new. Like I got away from it
Mm-hmm.
and became successful, like to the point where I didn't have to actually, because I don't, live a big like that's not my so actually I got away from all the things that are who I am, which is why we do the New Year's Eve now every year. It's like I got away from the things that led me to meet actually all of you, whether directly or indirectly. Indirectly, because some relationships I have led to, like Alex, for example. So it's powerful, a powerful example of the power of a bond, because like Jeff bringing up the jacket and me like, man, I should go to the closet and see if that thing's still up there. It's like, where the hell did I go? Right. And then so anyway, I'm learning with you guys, and thank you for showing up today and being in my life, all these years.
Jay's intensity 10 years ago was 1,000 times what it is now. Right?
That was his word last year.
Oh my God.
I was trying to rediscover it. Yeah.
One of the first videos I think you showed me was the Dan Penta. Dan Penta.
The script. Yeah. You guys ever seen that?
Yeah.
This is why you're poor. That one.
Don't change a word on the script, not a comma. If it has misspelled words,
this guy's it's there for a reason.
Send it
and
out.
I think other than Steve and I, every person on my team went running the other direction. Like, why are you bringing this guy into the office?
Hate is not an appropriate. Yeah. Hate is an appropriate word. What would you call it? Confusion? I don't know.
But hey, you got the last laugh, brother.
It was a ball of molten lava.
We had breakfast. It was exhausting. I'll never forget. It was 6:00 in the morning down in South Philly. And I'm like, I don't even know this dude. I don't know why I'm saying yes to having breakfast with him at 6:00 in the morning in South Philly. But I left and I was like, holy crap, man. Like, that dude's hard to keep up with.
Wow.
Awesome. Ken, what is it in your world that we could potentially be wildly valuable to you for? Maybe it's a resource, maybe it's a relationship. You have a similar business, right? I mean, you're basically you have a lot of, I don't know why everybody's not talking to Andrew. Do you know Andrew, Jeff? Jay, how does he not know Andrew?
That's why my word of 2026 is love. I got to bring everybody together.
Like it.
That's why the word is love. My
I
last
don't
year's
know, last time Jay had a party, he didn't invite me. I was like, he invited Steve, but he didn't invite me.
He owns like the biggest
talk about,
media
yeah,
and magazine
and
for
hell. I
mortgages in the
genuinely didn't think
country.
you'd want to go, and it's not your fault. It's because I was coming out of my hole. Sorry to interrupt, Mike. Yeah, Andrew Berman. He's actually about to get the award. He'll be on he's been on the show 39 times.
Is the
Jesus.
Literally.
Mortgage X podcast? Is that him?
No, that's Jason Frazier. Andrew Berman
Ah,
and his father started the National Mortgage Professional magazine,
okay.
and we are a part of when they sold to AmBiz, and he's become the CEO like over time. It was is a beautiful example of father son, and then maturing, and then being acquired, and then the son integrating into the CEO role. But he happens to be a mortgage like they're a mortgage family, and he's amazing. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna connect everyone to everyone. That's the goal. Or all of you all with each other. But I like the accountability, Mike. So keep doing that.
You got it, buddy. So, Ken, right back to you real quick.
Yes.
Let's
Yep.
make sure we get through everybody's turn here. Ken, what is it that you see as your biggest weak spot? We're all family here that we can maybe help you with.
Well, Jeff, Jeff, what you talked about was like literally hitting home for me too. We in our industry, I got in 2002, and other than that little hiccup in '08, not that it was a little hiccup, but anyone that got through that kind of, prosperity has been more abundant than scarcity in our industry for a long time, and it goes up and down. You have your good moments and your bad moments, but for the most part, rates since we've gotten into the business have steadily, come down, and it all came to a crashing halt in 2022, and that's when the hardest conversations and the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life had to occur, and it was not easy. And I remember, from The Godfather, you got your peacetime consigliere and you got your wartime consigliere, and I was a great peacetime leader. And what I learned is that I was not a great wartime leader. I learned that the difficult conversations didn't come to me. I learned that my 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 compassion. In fact, Alex, I think we talked about this on our podcast together. But compassion and empathy, I didn't realize that there was a difference between the two, and my empathy for people kept me from making hard decisions that only made things worse as things went on, so the result was just a complete kind of inversion where I lost some teammates to getting recruited away, and had to lay some people off in 2022, which was obviously pretty devastating emotionally. But what I'm trying to learn now, and where I'm at is I feel like I'm in a position within myself and with the team that I currently have that I'm finally ready to start to begin to grow again and begin to recruit. And I was so beaten down, I wouldn't make a single promise to anybody when it comes to bringing someone onto my team, because for fear that I wouldn't be able to deliver on those promises. And it was just fear. It was just, because I didn't want to have to relive what I lived in 2022 and 2023. But this year being what it was, started out very, very challenging. And it's ending on a high note. And I feel like I've experienced a lot of transformation over the course of this year already, but I'm carrying that forward into 2026 to become a better version of myself professionally and personally. And I think that where I need to grow and where I'm going to need help is to have the confidence to begin making promises again. Because I have experienced success in my business, and I think that if someone does it the way they're supposed to do it, they too can experience success. But I'm still a little gun shy in making those promises and convincing someone to leave their company to come work for us, even though I have a blueprint that says here's how it's going to work and here's how you can be successful. I'm still building up the confidence there to go out and really start to have conviction around it, and that's literally where I'm at right now in the moment.
Are you good at selling mortgages?
Really good at it.
Mm-mm.
Very good.
So
It's not selling mortgage. I'm very good at educating. And one of my recent posts was talking about what I'm transforming into, what I'm becoming this year as a teacher. I want to, I teach my borrowers, I teach my referral partners and my real estate agents, and I want to begin to teach loan officers again.
So there's I think there's something. Matter of fact, Jay, I can't wear this thing any longer. It's getting hot.
It's heating up.
That's been in his closet for years. That's been on my floor for days. No, kidding. I'm actually
Wardrobe
pretty organized.
change.
So for everybody on the call, and we'll get to everybody's turn here. We're not going to run out of time. I could not encourage you. So let me tell you a story so it sticks. Jay, who is the best converting sales professional you know?
Mike Calhoun.
Uh,
Jay, we're running out of time, buddy. I just promised him we're not going to run out of time. Now we're running out of time. Anyway, he's supposed to say me just to build credibility for what I'm going to
Come
tell
on,
you.
man. Come on. I got you. I
Hold
got
on,
you.
Jay, you got to
Hold
play
on.
ball, buddy. I got to put you in the game. I could have thrown Silva in the game and it would have worked better. So I have a gentleman. He is the fastest growing RIA in the world in the digital asset space. You can check him out on YouTube. His name is Jake Claver. Okay.
Jacobs.
Awesome. He attributes that success to one primary activity, which is YouTube, and more specifically, going live on YouTube. He does it now, I think, twice a week. 10,000 people show up when he goes live. Okay. And so he's also a member of board of advisors. He just did a joint venture with a formations company on just forming LLCs. I mean, it's not that expensive to form an LLC. To do it right, maybe 2 G's if you really want to make sure it's perfect. The joint venture partner, he sends it's about $1.2 million a month in commissions for forming the LLCs for the people that are forming LLCs due to the exposure he's getting on YouTube. And that's not even really his business. His business, he's an RIA, but he has to have the right structures. This is the guy's commission that he's sending him. It's not even Jake's commission. If you want to win in 2026, you have to go live. It needs to be part of your schedule. It needs to be frequent. You want to talk about consistency. It needs to be consistent. He does it every Monday evening for 2 hours. That's the first one. He was doing it every Monday evening. And then he started, I forget the other day. He added a day. I think it's Thursday. It's to the point where people now pay. So he's live, and you've got all the people in the chat below him that are trying to ask him questions or make comments. And they actually pay to usurp and go into what's called a super chat at the top. So they actually get their question answered in the 2-hour period. And you can pick whatever you want. You can give them $1, but if somebody else gave them $5, then they're on top. If somebody else gave them $10, I paid him $100 to tell him good job. Just so he would see that I was supporting him so I could get off the call or the live. But it just goes to show you the live algorithm. Think about this. You could post an image. You could turn that image into a little video with AI. You could post an actual video or short, but none of it is as real as going live. The algorithm sees the live as the highest value. It doesn't matter if you don't have any followers. Matter of fact, the follower thing, the followers and subscriber thing is going to go away. It'll disappear in the next 24 months and you won't even see it, because what will be most important is what is real and what is now. And it will be more about the views of that asset, post, live session, whatever. And the guy that's starting out on day one can be as equally as competitive as the guy that's been doing it with millions of subscribers. Yes, day one, he might get a better result, but it doesn't mean his shit's going to go viral. And it also doesn't mean that the algorithm's going to like his stuff more. He may even have a harder time than you. And if you're frequent and consistent, that algorithm will deliver you directly to your ideal conversation. It's about what are you talking about? Who are you talking to? It will figure out, like if you're talking about mortgage, you're talking about first-time home buyers, you're talking about interest rates, anybody looking for that stuff or in that age bracket, or like it will find them and bring them into their feet. You'll show up and they'll get notified. It does all the work. If you just made the commitment to do nothing different in your business other than go live and once or twice for a minimum of an hour and just do ask me anythings, right? We're on this call here. We're running out of time. Like we can talk about whatever. Get a person in your office to go live and have a conversation about what's going on in the industry. It's super easy to get it started, but when people start asking questions and you're provoking them to ask questions and you've got a moderator in your office to be able to say, hey, Susie Q just did this and Bob just asked that, and Dorkface made a funny comment, laugh at yourself too, like just go live. I can tell you, if you do nothing different but that, and you take it seriously and you don't miss it and it's frequent and consistent, in 12 months, you are in a different position. Your next project will be, what do I do with the lead flow? Mm. And here's the other part. It's free.
Alex,
all right, I'm going to change my word. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I want to hear that. Yeah, please.
Oh, well, no. I'm a little tongue in cheek, but I'm reacting to what Mike's saying. So 2025 for me was a year of pretty significant personal growth. And, this is table stakes, but that's when I started really getting involved in LinkedIn. And I'm not that involved, but it's on my schedule. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, 8 to 10 a.m., I'm doing something related to LinkedIn. And I was told to do that. We have a marketing firm that we partner with, and they said, you guys are leaving it on the table. I signed a client towards the beginning of the year, and she originally had said, no, not now. She came back, and one of the things she said was, I saw you on LinkedIn. I said, I'm just doing what you do. And what she does is she's super active. She's commenting, she's participating, and it's just a matter of, at least for me, it was a matter of taking kind of the stigma out of it. I'm not a social media guy. I really don't like it. I don't like, comparing my life outside of the four walls of the boxes you see on the screen to somebody's life within those four walls. It's incongruent. That being said, if you can take the stigma out of it and you can appreciate that it's a way to connect with people and you can do it genuinely, you don't have to be a little bit, you don't have to be so performative, and you can feel good about it. I mean, stuff happens. I saw stuff happen this year. And so, Mike, I'm taking your words to heart. Now, I work for an RIA. We are a heavily
I get it. So
industry.
is he. He's an RIA. Yeah. And that's the biggest excuse that the regulated crowd has. I'm an attorney. I'm a mortgage broker. I'm a wealth manager. Bro, like, what's funny is
that's not a shutdown, Mike. That's something to get around.
You're in the best industry because most of the people that are in your industry aren't influencers. I mean, not that you're trying to be an influencer. You're just trying to carry a great conversation frequently and consistently, but most of your competition doesn't have the balls to do it. So
Yeah.
you shine 10x.
I buy it. I buy it hook, line, and sinker, man. And I think specific to my industry,
Hold on. Hold on. Jay, what did he just say? He buys it hook, line, and sinker. So who's the best sales converting professional you know?
I already said it was you, Mike.
No,
You're
no,
not
I'm trying to get
surprising
Jay to
anybody.
say it.
I would like to respond to that with the pause as a reflection of me seeing you so high, like beyond just that. So that's the pause. A question I want to ask Jeff though, because I watch his videos on the TikTok, Instagram type, and what Jeff, like you and your sister and your team, like what did you learn about? And as we close, we have a few minutes, and I'm going to invite you all to the next one. So look out for the email. What did you learn about yourself, putting yourself in those I would say circumstances, because some of these videos are outside the box, not directly congruent with real estate. They're more exemplifying how I'm interpreting them, your aspects of your personality. If you want to elaborate a little bit on the videos that you've put out, you and your team.
Dude, it's I have one of the guys in one of my mastermind groups, a leadership group. He said to me, he's like, I got to go pay like, I don't know, I want to go to this seminar and spend $3,500 to learn how to do social media. And I said, save your money and go hire somebody to actually just start doing it. And I said, you got to just start doing it, and then you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work and what you want from it. So when we started doing it, like it was a little bit like comical, funny, and people are like, "Hey, you're doing well." And then I realized, just talking through people, getting feedback, that we wanted to do things that I wanted to show people that I was working, that I was showing people that like I'm actually out there doing it, and it's taken on a whole new format now that I really enjoy. I love it. I mean, I was doing videos yesterday. I'm doing a flip, so I walk through the flip. I'm doing I do some work in a condo building, so we did like another video at this condo building. I've gotten business out of it. For me, it's just constantly putting myself out there to just to stay in front of people. And I love what you're talking about, Mike, with YouTube Live. And I'm sitting there like, how the hell can I do this? And am I going to have anything to say? Is anybody going to show up? And I'm like, all right, we just do it. You know what I mean? So now you got my head spinning even more. But it's just doing it, man. And the more you do it, the better you get, and the more you feel like what works for you. And it's yeah, I don't have any hesitation ever doing it. It's just funny when I get other people in my team to do it. They're like, come on, man. My goal for you this year is to get better on camera. That's what I said to one of my girls yesterday. Like, it's not a big deal. You're just having a conversation. You're just talking with people, and you have to be open to feedback, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, right? Like that's the only way you're going to get better. So you look at anybody out there that's producing content, you're always going to have haters, right? It's just people, and you don't take it personally. You figure out what works, what doesn't work, and then you just keep doing it, and eventually you figure it out. So I've just learned that from doing it, Jay, that it's whatever works for me, and then I'm open to feedback. And sometimes I feel stupid, but I'm like, you know what? I do stupid shit all the time, so I'm going to be stupid. I don't really care. Like,
We
I'm a
all do
goofball,
stupid
you know
shit.
what I mean?
All of us. Most of the shit we do is stupid.
Exactly.
If you guys go to the chat right now, I just want to prove how bad it can be and it can still work. Just go to the chat, click on it.
What a compliment. I love it.
Dude, I remember when Jay,
The Zoom chat.
And it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea is that I want you to go to easy.com, I'm gonna write it at the bottom of it. And I got some shoes and that's it.
Great.
Yay. And it's my commercial. And since we spent all the money on the commercial spot, we actually didn't spend any money on the actual commercial. But the idea.
So part of the algorithm now too is to be random and real and not have all your stuff look exactly the same, not be all about the same topic. Like the more real and random, you could do 16 posts one week, none the next week. I mean, really, it's trying to find the most raw, authentic creators.
Yep.
And these are, this is like, don't make the content, right, Jay? Be the content.
Well, yeah. About 3,000 hours has been invested to get 70 of the close people in my life together today. And also it's yes, and what's your intention? Why are you doing it? You know, what's the purpose? Why go through all this?
Listen,
But I
they
tell
may
you,
just see your face. They never even listen to what you say. They may just see your face talking about a mortgage this, mortgage that, mortgage rate this.
well, I think if we're going to
And
go,
never
if we're
hear
going
a
to
thing you say, but they saw you so many times. The first person they think about is you and your company. And that's the first thing they Google or look up, especially if it's geo-targeted style services, where if they're looking for a mortgage, they can't, it's not going to serve somebody up that's in some other state, right? Like it really begins to make you the only logical choice, especially with certain types of products and services. Services specifically, because services usually have to be within a geographical proximity.
Demetri Stakias,
Yes.
in 60 seconds, all of you I've invited, please, if you're willing, you can come back. We'll be here all day. But next session, there's new friends. I feel like we just started the conversation. Demetri, if you can, and I sent you guys an email, so connect one other. I'll follow up with you for more. Encapsulate our conversation today. What's your takeaway, Demetri, and how are you moving into 2026? You've been such a great listener today.
Thank you all. I think especially thanks, Mike, for raising the energy in the room. And I think all of us for lifting up what's possible. And one thing that I think we all need to do is get together more often, right? We all feel like we can do everything alone, and I think a lot of times we can. But then I remember like that old line from Brian Tracy. It's like, if you want to go far, go alone. But if, you want to go further, like faster, like that African proverb, do it with tribes. So I need to have more often like tribes, to get people together. Because, there's a lot of people who need relief, right? To brand myself for a moment. People in the mortgage space, real estate. Hey, what can we do to get together? How can we even just have coffee and be friends? Right? Not always look for that next deal, but just how can we be helpful? So I feel like
So you
maybe,
mean like a quarterly meeting
yeah,
of brilliant
yeah.
minds?
I'm kind of thinking like a board of advisors type event. They're like
This guy
experts
is
in
great.
different
I like this
categories
guy.
who gather at like Ritz-Carltons throughout the country, especially like in Dallas or other like high key markets. I think there's this guy named Mike Calhoun who's like spearheading this whole movement.
I can make an intro, brother. I can make an intro.
You got it.
If you're listening to this podcast, please, I challenge you to go back through the show and type in Jeff Silva, unbelievable relationship conversations over the years. Ken Jordan, Alex Rawdin, Mike Calhoun. Please check out boardofadvisors.com. Jokes aside, it changes lives. It has mine. And
Thank you,
please share
Demetri.
this with, yeah, share this with a friend, someone you care about, and leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast. And keep listening because the next episode is what happened at 12 o'clock Eastern on New Year's Eve, Lollapalooza. We will see you either next.
Send these guys the link if they want to jump over.
I already did. I'm trying, we're just learning together. Thanks for the and Jeff, thanks for being you and help me get my velvet back on. So I'll see you in a minute.